Next on stage, we've got the director of product of one of the most appreciated European products, and definitely, I think it's in top 3 Eastern European products. I'm happy to have here Kalman Kemenczy from Prezi.com, who's going to share his insights with us, and he's going to talk about the medium, the technology, and the product.
Presentation title is about Prezi is a medium technology and the product. It sounds really bad. I think this is the worst title I ever give to, thank you, any presentation. In my defense, I never thought that conference organizer, if you pick it as a as a talk, I would change the topic a bit, and I would say stories about my favorite mistakes. And hopefully a lot of people know about Prezi, but just walking through some kind of things. We have more than 200 employees from more than 27 countries. We have 2 offices, one in San Francisco and one in Hungary, Budapest. We have more than 60 million users and 40K new registration daily. And those users generate more than 200 million presentations, and those presentations generates more than 1 billion views. A little bit about me. I really don't care about titles. I really care about the roles, what I'm doing. And these days, I'm responsible for technology innovations, like the rendering engine, the Prezi document format, the infrastructure, and the security. So in the last year, I work on this year, I'm working with these teams. So I believe if you would like to change your product or improve your product or do something about your product, you always have to come up with some ideas. And the ideas, you always start with a question. You have to keep asking questions to yourself, to your team, to anyone around, to understand better your customer, your product, your market, whatever, everything. And I like to collect those kind of questions all the time, and I like when those questions generating more questions, and in the end, we will end up somewhere. And I would like to invite you 2 of the questions that I asked to myself early this year. One is that how can we improve the number of Prezi views? And we have to talk about a little bit the views, what the Prezi views means. There's 2 things, and it should be separated. One is the view, how many people view the Prezis, because we believe if more people view Prezis, they engage, they love the experience, and they register, they're creating Prezis, and those Prezis will be viewed by others. And so this is a kind of viral loop. But if you think about this perspective of view, you can easily drift to the marketing point of view, the online marketing point of view. But now I really would like to talk about the medium point of view. And I know the medium as a word is sometimes it's too heavy, and a lot of people get confused. So let's talk about the medium first. So the medium has a purpose to do a job, to do some kind of things that you need. I'll give you an example. The PDF. PDF is a file format that is developed for creating a portable document. That's why they call portable document format. So if you use it, you don't have to worry about that other people's that when you send to somebody cannot open or hard to view, or it will be different. So I'm pretty sure that you at least in the past few years, you never worried about. But if you send a PDF, the other parties cannot open or see it, because PDF has an amazing view experience, what I call accessibility, that you can access the format everywhere. So this is a kind of medium that I'm talking about. So and if you like it or not, at Prezi we created a medium, and the medium that we created is really about. We believe that medium is pretty amazing for storytelling or share ideas with others. And for that reason, Medium has different characteristics as well. So I created this map about the Medium, and I know it's a bit hard to understand. So let's focus on this part first. So in this level, I said the Medium has 3 different levels. One is the view, and this is accessibility. So everyone should access the Medium itself. Otherwise, why people will create it? If you have to worry about that, there are some people who couldn't view it, why you spend time to create it. So the view is really important and should be available everywhere. The second thing is about creation or editing the presentation. And of course, you need an authoring tool or some kind of way to create a Prezi. And the third thing is a collaboration. So most of the time when you create something, there's a team who working on it. So this collaboration could be during the creation or after the viewing process, like commenting or something that's something we do together. Try to fix this thing. Okay. So what about this map? So this map is trying to show that it's I don't have power to point the laser. Okay, so this is a circle, and the circle has 2 halves. The right one is about mobile, and the left one is about desktop. And the slices are the platforms. So what you can see in the upper level is the native platforms like Apple, Windows, and those kind of things. And the lower level is about browsers. And I'm talking about 3 circles, and the inner circle that I would like to talk about today is a view. And what you can see here easily, you don't have to analyze it much. There's a huge blind spot here. And we knew it from the heart in the very beginning that, of course, Prezi, you cannot view Prezi on mobile browsers. But what we see, there are a lot of users coming to see Prezis on mobile browsers, and we try to force them to install the app. And we lose a lot of people here. So the bounce back rate is really huge. And we always, you know, this question always was in our minds. So why is it, what we can do? And we talk about the problem with the engineers, and we say, okay, how can we create a Prezi viewer on mobile browser? And we say, no, we cannot do that because we have some performance issues, and the experience will be really, really bad. So, the conversation in the past always stopped in that phase. So what this year is we started to switch the question. So we ask it, okay, what can we give to the users for mobile browsers? And to answering this question, we have to understand what Prezi is, what Prezi is a medium, what Prezi as a medium is. So here's a presentation, and you can see there are some objects there, the text, pictures, and vector graphics and other stuff. There are some structure. You organize your object on the canvas that helps to tell a story. And there are some behaviors. The behaviors is something like this. You know, when I click, it appears, or when I'm going from one pass point to another, it flies through what we call eagle transition. So we started to think, okay, what we can remove, and it was really clear that we cannot remove the object and the structure because this is part of is a really essential part of the content. How can you tell a story if you don't have an object or you couldn't put it in a structure? So we started to think about the behavior. So what is the biggest performance blocking behavior? And what we see here, the biggest performance blocking behavior is the eagle transition when you fly one point to the other, and zooming. And we stopped here with, oh my God, what we're doing. So this is what Prezi makes Prezi. So can we remove some kind of key behaviors without hurting the medium itself? This is the medium that we thought that it's important. And what we conclude here is we have to try. So what if you remove those kind of behaviors and let the people do Prezis on mobile browsers? So, and actually, the solution what we create is amazing technology. So usually we create the rendering engine, a command line rendering engine, where it's on the cloud. It generates thumbnails from each pass point, and when we play the pass points, we try to pretend with the CSS transformation that this is a zooming presentation. So here's an example. You see it looks like it's zooming, but it's not. It looks like it's flying, but it's not. So this is a really pretending mode. But in the end, what we see, users can view Prezis on mobile. We don't know how is it changed, the viral loop that I'm talking about. How the people started to like the Prezi itself and they use it. But I think this is a different challenge. So we have to tell them that, hey, this is not a full experience. And but what we see is the number of views increased a lot. And this kind of way of thinking that we were really a slave of our constraints. We really thought that Prezi Medium, that how we think about this is this secret. And this was one of the questions. The second question that I would like to talk about, and somehow it's connected. So why do Prezi look differently on different platforms? We have several platforms, of course, on mobile and desktop and different browsers, but what we see is somehow it looks differently. And because the view experience I'm talking about is really important, then it should look the same. Otherwise, people lose the trust. So we started to think about what is the thing that could look differently, and we find out several objects are pretty bad. And if you're talking about the objects, we have text, vector graphics, bitmaps, videos, and audios. And what we see on the zooming presentation, the text and the vector graphics are very, very, very important. Because when you zoom, you will not lose the quality. And what you see, I can talk about the text, and this I can talk about it now, how problematic the text is. But what we try to focus on the vector graphics first, and of course this is a simplified version of the whole story, but hopefully to understand. So what we see is this vector graphics on two different platforms. It's really clear to see it look differently when really complex vector graphics, when the users use a very complex vector graphics. So we have to find out why it happened. So I'm going back to the map and see that we have 4 different rendering engine on production. And of course, every rendering engine use different file as a default file format for vector graphics. And during this conversion, we can easy to lose some kind of content, and they are not perfect. Of course, the solution is we have to move to one code base and one platform. One code base on all platform, and this is a solution, and I think it's pretty straightforward. But I didn't want to talk about these 2 problems because I think the solution is really clear and simple. In the first, we have to think about it more, what we can remove, and the second, that yes, we have to do the same code. It's not easy, it's hard. But I wanted to understand why we end up here. So what leads us to get into this stage, this kind of mistake? And for this, I had to go back to Prezi history. I joined Prezi 2011. We were 20 at that time, and there was one team who worked on Prezi, and it was pretty amazing. one team, and we owned the technology. We worked on the technology itself, and this team was responsible for all the releases, all the products, all the platforms. And as we grow, that we created similar teams, and we say, okay, these teams are startups in the startup, so they really independent. They don't care about others. They have to work on their own things, and they have to move forward no matter what. And it worked pretty well, and we were really proud of it, because every team was focused on different part. But unfortunately, we separate the teams by platforms. So every team started to create their own platforms, and all platforms, all rendering engine solution with all 5 formats. And because we failed to understand how important is the Prezi as an ecosystem for the users. For the users, never think about Prezi as, okay, this is for Android, or this is for desktop, or this is for web. No, they think about this Prezi that I would like to access from everywhere, anytime, and the same quality. And this is the same thing that happened with another problem with the mobile view. So we created a mobile team, and we fill it up with mobile developers, the iOS and Android developers. Of course, they started to deliver applications rather than thinking about the mobile view problem itself. So what we realized is that, oh my God, all the mistakes was coded in the organization structure. And well, is it something new? Not at all. There's a gentleman called Melvin Conway who said that the organization which designs systems are constrained to produce designs which are copies of the communication structures of the organizations. So, and it was okay, I learned about it in the university, but it was right here, and we see, oh my God, this is what we did. So we created an organization, and after that we started to see that this organization delivered exactly the same thing, how the organization looked like. So if we believe that, and this is what they call the Conway law, and if you think like this, if you believe that works, that there is an inverse Conway law, that if you know the architecture of the software that you would like to build, or the architecture of the product that you would like to build, you have to build same organization. So this is what we started to do, and the biggest pain, it took a year to understand this is the issue, because first when we realized this is a problem, we try to fix one by one. You know, let's these two collaborate better. Let's these two talk and understand the whole thing. And what we realized, the whole organization structure was really bad, and it took a year. And after it took 6 months to the new organization start to deliver real things. I mean, we have to identify the tech debt that we have to solve. We have to identify the product that we have to solve, and it took time. So what I told to one of the co-founders when I realized that, hey, we have to create a team who owns all the technologies, and that we called it Force. And we create product teams, and those product teams should own missions, and the missions should be connected somehow, because we have to understand this is an ecosystem. So it's really cool that the teams are independent, but in some level they have to connect. They have to understand the whole picture, and they have to communicate to each other. In the past, it happened that the product team started to work on technology that wasn't exist, and the technology arrived. It wasn't the same that we thought before, what it could look like, and of course the product failed as well. So, and the co-founder said, hey, but what you're doing here is a waterfall. So you say that there is a force team who create the technology, and there is a product team who deliver it. And I say, yes, we can think like this, but let me say that I believe what the force team innovate is a separate product. Thinking about the game developers. So when you have a Unity and or Unreal Engine, they're working on this as a product, and based on this technology, they build the games on it. And I said, removing this responsibility from the product team, so they don't have to care about the technology what they use, it will speed up the delivery. And actually, this is what happened. So today, this is how Prezi deliver product. So after 7 months, we were able to deliver a new rendering engine, which was available on 5 different platforms, and they have the same characteristics. They don't have to care about the performance problem. And immediately we can see that the product team started to use those kind of technologies because they don't have to worry about things. So what I would like to tell in these 2 questions or stories that there is an aspect like this. Of course, the independent team is important. Of course, that it's very good that you don't have to wait for others. But sometimes you have to cut the product in several pieces to let the people or the product teams work well. And so I would like to say that if you have in your mind how your product should organize or how your software architecture should organize, think about it that your team is organized like this, because your team is going to copy itself. And this is a question that something you have to ask all the time as well. And this should be a very ongoing thing. So of course your product is going to change. Sometimes your target users could change as your company grows, and you have to adapt those change as soon as possible. This is what I wanted to tell you. Thank you.
Any questions? Over there, we have one.
I think that one of the most important criteria for success for Prezi is how you engage not with your creators or who create a Prezi content presentation, but also with the viewers, with the readers that are viewing the Prezi presentation. How do you engage with them?
Mm-hmm. So I think the engagement is about the outcome. So if you would like to, I don't know if you enjoy the presentation that I gave, that you see, I mean visually, that maybe you think about, hey, I would like to do a same. If you feel that I was successful to tell my stories to you, or share my ideas in that way, you will consider that you would like to do it the same. So this is, I believe in the engagement like this, that you will see something you believe in, you start to use it, and when others view, by the way, yeah, so the others view, we count it as a view. By the way, this one is a show. When somebody present their own thing is a different metric for us. This is a view, this is a show thing, and this is how we try to engage people. And we will see during this process how they fail, because you can feel that during the creation process, it's hard to do that. It's not worth to do, not worth to put that effort to get this result. This is what we have to work on.
Any other question over there?
Yeah, one more question. when you went about to find the problem over here, when you went about to find the problem that that you weren't delivering the product fast enough and there were problems in the communication, did you decide to do the force team and the product team, or did you first change the communication and it came out naturally?
So, as I said, the first reaction was let's solve it with this structure and change the communication and try to solve it. That's why it took a year. Yeah, so first we tried to solve the communication itself, and you know, when the team is really independent and they're not forced to work together, and by the force, I don't think this is the right word here. I mean, they can easily drop the line, I would say that. And sometimes it's not enough. This is what I can say. Of course, first I wanted to solve the communication. And it wasn't my decision only. So my idea was the technology, separate the technology and our head of product work on this mission thing, and these two things was really cool. How it worked together.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.